to make it. We're gonna make it. Let me introduce Jean Marie and Quentin. Quentin Halliburton is with Hilton Corporate here in town, and he's gonna tell you all about what he does. And Jean Marie Cummings is with Tourism Memphis, ex-Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is where I used to work, where I retired from 5.5 years ago. And she's gonna tell you about what they're both gonna talk about, life after college. So, Jean Marie, you're up. You're first, please.
Do you want me to hold this?
How do you all want to handle questions? During, after?
During.
During.
They'll just spit them out. We don't want to.
Yeah.
The attendance sheet is floating around somewhere, and I know you've all got some questions. So, JM, the floor is yours, my good friend.
Hey y'all, my name is Jean Marie, and I work for Welcome to Memphis, which is a training or the training subsidiary for Memphis Tourism, formerly the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau. What I do is I go around and train everybody who works in the hospitality industry in Memphis, and I train them how to know, share, and love Memphis, and then we allow them the experience by giving them a pass to all of the attractions in Memphis so that they can go and experience it, and then they can share that experience with their guests. We also do customer service training and some other stuff, and there's a lot that is about to happen, but that's pretty much the gist of what I do.
Take the mic. My job is way more boring. I'm Quentin Halliburton. I work for Hilton Corporate, and I work for revenue management support. So we support all of the revenue management systems that Hilton has to offer. The biggest one is an automated system that they're actually rolling out to all the hotels, and our job specifically is to support hotels with any issues or cases they have. So it's not really like IT technical support, it's more like, hey, we've had this event on the books for months now, and now the system's forecasting us to finish far behind, so we have to go in and look at those cases. So it's a lot more fun if you're into revenue management and puzzles. I don't know. I always tell people it's like a puzzle, but yeah. So that's all I got. If any questions?
Yeah.
So, being in Memphis this long, has the kind of luster worn off? Like, do you ever wake up in the morning and say, "Gosh, there's so many more interesting places I could be," or do you feel like Memphis has like a magic that just kind of doesn't go away?
I came from a small town outside. Y'all know where Brownsville, Tennessee is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I came from there, and we grew up hating Memphis. So actually, when I moved here, I was planning on like graduating, going to Nashville or somewhere like that. But now that I've lived here for a while, Memphis has really grown on me. So that's and especially like once I found out that Hilton Corporate was here, because honestly, going into hospitality, I had no idea that Hilton Corporate had an office here in Memphis. So that's a big win. There's only 3 corporate offices in America, and it's Dallas and McLean. You don't want to live in McLean because it's like ridiculously expensive. But yeah, that's why I love Memphis.
I obviously work for Memphis, so I love it. I've lived here my entire life, but I do, some days, yeah, I do wake up and say like, oh man, like I should get out, but then I find something new that catches my attention, or I learn about something that's about to break, and like we're gonna get a new convention center, and I'm really excited about that. And so like there are just new things coming all the time. I think the other cool thing about Memphis is that we are a restoration city, so we have taken somewhere like Crosstown.
Yeah.
It's been abandoned for years, and we've made it into an urban village. So it's like you can't do that other places, or people won't do that in other places.
Downtown Nashville is mostly like new buildings, whereas Memphis renovates the old stuff. It has some character to it. So.
Yeah, there's always character. There's always something new popping up, and it's just exciting. I love it.
If you know, folks don't mind, let me interrupt for a moment. Both of you, Jean Marie, you start. When did you graduate, and what have you done prior to getting to Tourism Memphis.
How did I get here?
And then Quentin, it's on you.
So I graduated in 2015, and when I graduated, I was working at the Westin Memphis Beale Street. And when I started there, I started at the front desk. I was there for about 4 to 6 months, maybe not even, and then went up and got promoted to Westin Experience Specialist, where I took care of all of our elite guests and all of our NBA teams and everybody that had some sort of important role within their membership with what used to be Starwood. And then I really liked that, but wanted a little bit more of a challenge, wanted to not work all the hours, and so I went into sales. So I was a Westin Experience Specialist for 3 to 4 months, went to sales, quickly found that was not for me. I am much better one-on-one with people. And so then I came back downstairs after about 6 months and was a supervisor at the Westin, so a front desk supervisor. So I ended my hotel career, maybe not forever, but that part of it, as a supervisor, and I loved it so much, and I would go back today if they would pay me more and I could have my hours. But then I interned for Mary Schmitz, who is my boss now, when I was in college, and then was looking for something new, and I met up with her for coffee one day, and she was like, I don't really have anything, I don't know of anything that's hiring right now that is not a hotel job, so, I'll just keep my ears and eyes open. And then the next day, she called me and was like, I actually need a lot of help myself, so if you want to come and do some temp work for me. I was down. I was like, yep, I'll be there. And that finally turned into a full-time position after about a year-ish of doing back and forth stuff with her. And so now I've been at the CVB, Memphis Tourism, for a year and a half.
My turn. So I started at the Peabody. When I first moved to Memphis, I started valeting at the Peabody, and that's probably the funnest job I ever had, but I realized I needed to move up, so I sweet talked my way into the front desk and worked there for about a year. Did an internship at the Peabody where I rotated through all their departments, and that took 3 months. And then after that, I was promoted to front desk supervisor. Did that for a year, and the manager of the team that I got hired onto at Hilton Corporate, Susie Zaney, I don't know if she still teaches here. She was a revenue manager teacher here, and I used to bug the crap out of her every day after class about getting a job. And so once I graduated, she called me up. So I think I was out of the Peabody for a month. No, I was still at the Peabody. I was at the Peabody, and then got right up into Hilton Corporate with the revenue management support team. Been there since September 2015, and I started out as an analyst, and now I'm a support specialist. Yeah, doesn't sound too fun, but it is. Well, I don't know if anybody saw this, but Hilton actually was ranked #1 in Fortune's top 100 companies to work for. So it's a good spot if you can deal with the corporate 8 to 5.
Susie still does teach a class. Has anyone had revenue management Wednesday nights with Suzanne? Nobody?
It's a rowdy time.
You will. She's still here.
Okay.
I'll say this, I love my job, but every time that I talk to Quentin or Tony or like anybody that works at Hilton, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go work there.
The schedule, going from a hotel schedule and being at school full-time, you go from having like 4 hours of sleep a night to working an 8 to 5 job where you actually get your 8 hours. It's so nice, and then you have your weekends off, and then you're have a better schedule.
It's a lot better, but you also I think that you need to be in the trenches. Like you need to work until you need to get off at 11, but really you get off at 1:30 or 2. You need to do that so that you know where you've come from and how far you've come, and so that you understand your bigger role better.
Yeah, you definitely want to get experience while you're in school. Because if you don't, after you graduate, you're not really going to be looked at. You're going to be looked over for somebody who had experience while they're in college.
Do you get to travel with your position?
Yes, not that much. We used to travel a lot more, but it got kind of expensive. We got a bigger team. But yeah, so like we'd have random cases where a hotel, like we had do you know where Milpitas, California is? No, it's like outside of San Francisco. What's the Silicon
San
Valley?
Jose.
Yeah, right outside. We had to travel there one time to sit with a hotel for a week and just go over every single thing that they were doing wrong and kind of coach them. So, you know, with Hilton, there's jobs that travel more, and then there's jobs that really don't travel at all. But it's fun.
Have you all heard the term yield management? And that's really sums up your position 2 words, doesn't it?
What'd you ask? I'm sorry.
They heard of yield management.
Oh yeah.
The hospitality business, hospitality tourism business is you can't put the inventory on the shelf and sell it tomorrow. If you don't sell an airplane seat when that airplane is leaving, you don't make any money.
Inventory expires.
If your hotel room is empty tonight and you're not making any money, you can't put it on the shelf like Kroger does with a can of beans and sell it tomorrow or next week. It doesn't work. So what Quentin does is he...
Sorry, I probably should have explained that.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, so who knows about revenue management? Who knows? Okay. Do y'all work at hotels? Yep. Okay.